Okay, we are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams. How's that? Want more?
Okay.
There is a place where you can always go. Come with me. Where it's alright to let your feelings show. Come with me. What a pleasant journey. It isn't very far. We can go together, stay right where you are. And now it's time to start. It's right here in your heart. There is a place where you can be yourself. Come with me. And it's a place where you can free yourself. Come with me. And you know it's waiting, not so far away. Need no reservation, we can go today. And now it's time to start. It's right here in your heart.
Good morning. My name is Reverend Nina Clark, and I'm the Associate Minister here at Unity in Lynnwood. And I am so glad that you are with us this morning on this beautiful Pacific Northwest morning. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. I've been thinking a lot recently about the power of words. In New Thought, we talk a lot about the power of our thought and words to create in our lives. But I've been thinking a lot about the words we say to ourselves, the words that become a veil between who we are and who we think we are. Maya Angelou wrote, "Words are things, I'm convinced. Someday we'll be able to measure the power of words. I think they are things. I think they get on the walls, they get in your wallpaper, they get on your rugs, in your upholstery, in your clothes, and finally, into you." How often do we think unkind thoughts about ourselves, say unkind things to ourselves, repeat words that diminish or affirm our smallness, our limitations, our can'ts? I've been thinking about how the feelings that accompany that litany are powerful and keep us stuck, less able to express the fullness of our divinity, the fullness of our beauty, the fullness of our generosity, our love, our talents. Author Betty Eady writes, "If we understood the power of our thoughts, we would guard them more closely. If we understood the awesome power of our words, we would prefer silence to almost anything negative. In our thoughts and words, we create our own weaknesses and our own strengths. Our limitations and joy begin in our hearts." And I wonder if at least part of what makes it hard to pull our feet out of the deep mud of that self-defeating cycle is the belief that we don't matter. That of ourselves, even though we try, we fear that the truth underneath all of it is that we don't matter. I'm here to tell you that you do. I'm here to tell you that what you do and what you think matter. I'm here to tell you that you are worth the best and highest thoughts that you can think about yourself. And this isn't about ego boosting. That's a different thing altogether. The best and highest thoughts that you can think about yourself are thoughts of truth. Will you join me in prayer? Wherever you are, in your home, couch or chair, bed or floor. Make yourself comfortable. Take a breath with me. And allow your body to relax. And another breath, relaxing even more as you allow your eyes to gently close. And if you would, allow my words to be your words, ringing in your mind with authority and conviction. This word I speak on behalf of myself, that I am a complete and perfect expression of an infinite creative mind. My mind is a point of awareness in the mind of the infinite thinker. And in this moment, I now open my mind to the God thoughts that are swirling all around and through me. I am abundant life. I am boundless love. I am deep wisdom. I am inexhaustible strength. And this is true because I am one with the infinite one, the ground of all being, one with limitless spirit substance. I let this quiet, firm knowing rise up in me. And as it does, all that is unlike it dissolves into dust and falls away, leaving only this quiet certainty in its wake. I am God's stuff. I am whole. I am love. I am powerful. And I am of God, and thus I matter. God is, I am, and so it is.
And the light shines through each window, and the door is open wide, and each question has an answer. If you're lonely, look inside. There is a place where every sorrow ends. Come with me. Where every hope and every truth begins. Come with me. What a pleasant journey. It isn't very far. We can go together, stay right where you are. And now it's time to start. It's right here in your heart. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand. My heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. Here I am, vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand. My heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go.
World losers and world forsakers, on whom the pale moon gleams. Yet we are the movers and shakers of the world forever, it seems. With wonderful, deathless ditties, we build up the world's great cities, and out of a fabulous story, we fashion an empire's glory. One man with a dream, at pleasure shall go forth and conquer a crown. And three, with a new song's measure, can trample an empire down. We, in the ages, lying in the buried past of the earth, built Nineveh with our sighing, and Babel itself with our mirth, and o'erthrew them with prophesizing to the old of the new world's worth. For each age is a dream that is dying, and one that is coming to earth.
I've missed you, Nancy Joy Callahan. Welcome, dear friends, to Unity in Lynnwood. My name is Dr. Richard Loren Held. Always, it is my pleasure, it's my privilege, it's my honor to welcome you to this evolving, unfolding experience we share. If you have children, please note that Youth and Family Ministries gatherings are launching at this very moment as well. Simply contact that program's director. Her name is Stacy Bailey. We invite you to avail yourself to the vehicles of support which we have fashioned for you. Of course, visit unityinlynnwood.org, where you can submit prayer requests, meet your leaders, read recent blogs, even download brochures. We invite you to engage with UIL on the social media platforms of your choice. Do download the Breeze app, especially if you are a formal member of Unity in Lynnwood. Download the Breeze app, which will permit notifications, reminders, and so much more. As always, if you would like assistance or support with any or all of the above, click or call, write or ring. A member of our staff will delight in connecting with you. Practical spirituality, welcoming community, that admittedly short mission statement that speaks so broadly. So it is that every week I like to support this with one of the bullet points which we developed in conversation with your Board of Trustees beginning in late 2014. Take a deep breath. Yet again, take a deep breath with me. Consider the following. Does this belong to you? Is this a statement with which you can align? It reads as follows. It's the second of the 6. We seek to discover and share spiritual practices which are repeatable and reliable, and to infuse these spiritual practices into every area of our daily living. If you would like prayer support, please know that our prayer ministries participants stand at the eager ready to support you following this service and during the week. Start the process simply by writing prayer at unityinlynnwood.org. Do include a telephone number. Please consider joining your prayer ministries on Thursday evenings throughout the month of January, 8 o'clock p.m., by lighting a candle, and considering a noble position of truth during this important month. You can find the details on Facebook at Unity in Lynnwood. If you are new to Unity, if you are newer to Unity, we'd love to send you a gift of a daily word. It is an inspirational booklet. Simply click or call yet again, write or ring, include a mailing address, and we will send your copy through the mail. Words of invocation. You're welcome to allow my voice to become yours or to read along. The language will appear on your screen. It reads as follows. Though imaged and named variously, there is a singular and eternal ground of being from which all life emanates and into which all life retreats. We choose to call this ground of being God. By extension, we suggest that you are spiritual in nature, human in expression, and limitless in potential. We gather today to remember such truths, to celebrate our unity, and to honor all life. Thanks for being with us today. If you attempted to be with us last week, please accept our apologies. We had a bit of a system breakdown, and we have reason to believe that won't be happening again. We appreciate your kind understanding as always. I like to summarize the first 2 tenets of unity as God is and I am, meaning there is that one ground of being from which all expressed being takes its form. Contrary to what you believed in elementary school, the devil didn't really make you do anything, you see. There is only one ground of being from which all expressed being takes form and into which all expressed being ultimately retreats. There are not 2 grounds of being. There are not 2 cosmic forces playing tug of war with your soul. There is only the profound honor of being an incarnate point of awareness within that one ground of being, scorching through infinity on a temporary blue-green spaceship, privileged with the transient experience of multiplicity and the limitless potentials of freedom. There are not 2 grounds of being. What we call evil in the world usually arises when we forget that there is only one ground of being, when we forget that we are cosmic siblings within the family of God, when we forget that we are inextricably bound strands within that singular web of being, when we forget that our choices necessarily waft forth across space and time to impart something of their fragrance upon all. Even more insidious, what we call evil in the world usually arises when we forget that there is one ground of being, and we begin to tease those we would consider worthy of God from those we would consider unworthy of God. We begin to tease those we would consider worthy from those we would consider unworthy, citing matters of religion, matters of orientation, matters of history, matters of geography, even matters of worldly success and wealth and health to cloak our human prejudices. What we call evil in the world usually arises when we forget God in the same way that D-minuses usually arise in math class when we forget multiplication. The presence of God can't be absent any more than the principles of mathematics can be absent. But oh, when we forget. When we forget. So if we must seek gods to praise and devils to blame for the conditions of expressed life, let us turn to the gods and to the devils, to those highest of impulses and to those lowest of tendencies lurking in human consciousness, for that is where they will be found. Unity's co-founder, Myrtle of Fillmore, said the same thing this way: God is the only reality of us. All else is but a shadow that's cast by some foolish belief or unwise combination of thoughts. End quote. And as usual, don't the poets often have a way as well? It was Shalane Harkin who penned it this way, and I quote, "The worst thing we ever did was put God in the sky, out of reach, pulling the divinity from the leaf, sifting out the holy from our bones, insisting God isn't bursting dazzlement through everything we've made a hard commitment to see as ordinary, stripping the sacred from everywhere to put in a cloud man elsewhere, prying closeness from your heart. The worst thing we ever did was take the dance and the song out of prayer, make it sit up straight and cross its legs, removed it of rejoicing, wiped clean its hip sway, its questions, its ecstatic yowl, its tears. The worst thing we ever did is pretend God isn't the easiest thing in this universe, available to every soul in every breath." End quote. The worst thing we ever did is pretend God isn't the easiest thing in this universe. God is, and I am. Meaning there is one ground of being from which all expressed being takes form. And because there is one ground of being from which all expressed being takes form, you, my friend, are of it. You are the cosmic wave to the ocean that is God. You are the cosmic ray to the sun that is God. You get my point. And this is important because if you are of it, then whatever its nature is, your nature is. Now, while we as modern peoples pretty easily relinquish childhood imaginings of God as a gendered humanoid, complete with arms and legs, leather binders, favorite peoples, and anger management issues, all cloaked in that flowing white tunic of sorts, it serves us to entertain a grown-up frame for God as the ground of all being, presumably capable of sustaining and supporting its expressions. Said another way, it serves us to consider God as life, God as wisdom, God as sufficiency. And maybe that's why the biblical writers referred to God as love, among so many other things. After all, if you came to grasp, if you truly came to grasp that the ground of all being fully sustains and supports you, wouldn't you feel loved? I know I would. The ground of all being sustains and supports me. Now, there's an affirmation to take with you this week, right? The ground of all being sustains and supports me. The ground of all being knows what it's doing. The ground of all being knows how to do me. The ground of all being knows how to do my life. The ground of all being has already met my need. The ground of all being has already satisfied my soul. I could go on. God is and I am, which lands us at the problematic third tenet of unity. Commonly interpreted, it's a core idea behind what you might recognize as the law of attraction or unity's law of mind action. It reads as follows: human beings create their experiences by the activity of their thinking. Now, I say it's the problematic third tenet not because it's wrong, but because it's been simplified to a fault. It's been materialized to an embarrassment and weaponized to a disgrace. I say it's the problematic third tenet not because it's wrong, but because it's been lightly interpreted to cheapen complexity, to accumulate stuff, and to blame people. I like to imagine that this tenet started as a single morning when humanity woke up as one and realized that life wasn't just something that was happening to us, rendering us as hapless victims, but that as our beliefs evolved, as our perceptions evolved, as our expectations evolved, our experiences of life seemed to evolve as well. And it was in that important shift from hapless victims to empowered co-creators that the effects of consciousness became the targets of consciousness, leaving humanity kneeling around yet another golden calf, albeit draped in the indulgent fabrics of psycho-spiritual jargon, wrestling with questions such as, well, if I do it right, then can I change it all? If I do it right, can I own it all? If I do it right, can I control it all? If I do it right, will my team always win the Super Bowl? And while I know there are listeners who will disagree with my answer, I'm going to respond in advance by saying, well, welcome to unity. Welcome to a spiritual community better described as a diversity of souls exploring spiritual conversations than a homogeny of souls parroting accepted dogmas. In other words, welcome to unity where you don't have to agree with me, and I don't have to agree with you, where your exploration of God might have landed you in a different place than mine has landed me. Unity, you see, isn't best described as a pyramid of knowledge and authority, you see, but as a circle of inclusion and practice. So if I do it right, can I change it all? If I do it right, can I own it all? If I do it right, can I control it all? If I do it right, will my team always win the Super Bowl? And my answer is no. And that's because the purpose of our work in consciousness isn't to get something. The purpose of our work in consciousness is to become something. My answer is no, because if I do it right, can I get? Is the wrong question altogether. The purpose of our work isn't to change, own, and control what's out there. It's to change, own, and control what's in here. This is what Jesus meant when he reminded all of us to seek first a remembering of that kingdom. He was aware of the human temptation to kneel before the golden calf of effects. I think it was the great teacher Joel Goldsmith who said it this way: we aren't to come to God for loaves and fishes. We are to come to God for God. Loaves and fishes will take care of themselves. So while most like to hold this third tenet as an extension from God is and I am to I think or to I create, I prefer to hold this as an extension from God is and I am to I become or to I express. So last week I presented you with a series of questions. Allow these questions to serve as something of a heart checklist, if you will. And while these questions could be seated, if you will, in any number of wisdom writings from our planet's enduring traditions, it's a passage from Proverbs that speaks to me today. And it states that as a person believes in the heart, that's how he is. It's as a person believes in here, not up here. That's how she is. So check in. Check in. If you want to close your eyes, you are welcome to do so. Allow the following questions to be something of a heart checklist. Do you believe life is hard? Do you believe that you have to pay some sort of cosmic dues, that you have to work hard every day at some soul-killing job, only to fall asleep every evening in a lazy boy chair so that on some glorious day you can get a gold-plated watch that turns your wrist green and finally begin to explore those daring ideas which you have harbored for so long? Or do you believe that life is something of a grand adventure, that you are here to contribute something really juicy that makes your heart dance and your intellect reel, something really juicy that wakes you up at night with its promise of soul fulfillment? Check in. Do you believe life punishes you? That you've done something which is completely unforgivable? Do you have a toxic secret which is far too dark to ever be released into the light of day? Or do you believe that something of a universal grace instantaneously frees you from every moment of ignorance? That something of a universal grace continually wipes the slate of your very humanness clean? Do you believe your lovability to be a product of some sort of negotiation, a product of some grand and ongoing illusion? Do you catch your inner critic offering sour words, such as, well, how do I convince them? You see, there's always a them. How do I convince them that I'm lovable, even though I know it to be untrue? Or do you believe that you are lovable, just the way you are? That you are what I like to call Lady Gaga lovable. That is, you are lovable because you were born that way. That you are made of really good stuff, and that any indication to the contrary is to be plucked away, as my friends from the South say, like a hair from a biscuit. Checking in. Do you believe in competition? If someone else gets more, do you believe that you might get less? Or if someone else gets less, do you believe that you might get more? That we live in a dog-eat-dog world? Or do you believe in something of a plentiful universe, that your every need has already been richly addressed by an opulent sufficiency, by whatever name we choose to call it? That each of us is but a solitary player on the same global team, a unified team which is fully capable of revealing plenty for every one of its players. Do you believe in a life that's defined by dates that appear on birth certificates and tombstones? Or do you believe in something of a capital L life, which carries each of us forward on its eternal currents which fail to acknowledge our petty transient complaints, but meander unconcerned on their own peaceful journeys of unfoldment? Do you believe what society has taught you? Do you believe what society has taught you about the size of your hips, about the color of your skin, the length of your legs, the texture of your hair, the smell of your neck? Or do you believe that your body is fundamentally and unalterably beautiful, that your eyes, that your hands, that your feet, that your nose, your knees, your knuckles, your navel are absolutely miraculous? Check in. Do you believe in age? Do you believe that life's possibilities slip from grasp as the birthday candles increase on the cake? Or do you believe in age? That the accumulated wisdom of those passing celebrations brings new possibilities which were not available at your previous level of experience and understanding? Do you believe that you might somehow be living a lie? That your very existence is somehow an illusion to be perpetuated, and that if there is always a they as well, by the way, that if they ever see behind the veil which you so artfully preserve, you will somehow be laid bare to the world's disapproval? Or do you believe that the full, unsullied, undiluted, unadulterated, untainted nakedness of who you are contributes a necessary thread to the grand tapestry of humanity? That the very substance which infuses every beautiful corner of this wondrous existence is the same substance that infuses you. Check in. Do you believe in the old adage, keeping your enemies closer? Do you believe that the universe is somehow against you? Do you believe that the other shoe will always fall? Do you believe that the grass is always greener? Do you really believe that the only things you can count on are death and taxes? Do you believe life is some sort of test, some sort of cosmic obstacle course set up by a precocious God in order for you to prove something. Or what about this? Let's finally get to the answer of the proverbial question. Do you, my friends, believe your glass is half empty or half full? And I ask you these questions not because of what they might lead you to get. I ask you these questions because of what they might lead you to become. For you see, I'm not in the business of getting. I'm in the business of becoming. And your belief is the valve that determines just how much becoming you are willing to do in this lifetime. It was Ralph Waldo Emerson who said the same thing in different words, and I quote, he said, "God will not have his work made manifest by cowards." End quote. I like to think that Emerson, were he living in today's world with its 24-hour fear profiteering, would say it this way: the highest that's within you cannot be expressed through a consciousness constricted into fight or flight, but through a consciousness stretched by availability and audacity. Maybe that's why Rabbi Nachman said, the whole world is a very narrow bridge. And the most important thing is not to be afraid. Maybe that's why your Judeo-Christian Bible said, have no fear. Some 350 times, the most repeated phrase, in fact. If Unity's first tenets say that there is one ground of being, and that this ground of being seems to know how to support and sustain its creation, including you. In more traditional circles, you might hear it said that we're all children of God. Then the third tenet asks each of us, how can I become a clearer channel for that which knows how to support and sustain me today? It was MLK who set this same idea forth in prayer as follows, and I quote, "Show me how to take who I am, who I want to be, and what I can do, and use it for a purpose greater than myself. How can I be a clearer vehicle for God today?" That's the question of the third tenet. It is the question which I invite us simply to be with for a couple minutes of silence. How can I be a clearer vehicle for God today?
Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand. My heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go.
Can I become a clearer vehicle for God today? Let's take that into our offering, knowing that this time of offering is really a time of practice. We practice this today, and we practice this all through our week, all through our days, becoming clearer vehicles for God, becoming clearer vehicles for abundance, becoming clearer vehicles for life, becoming clearer vehicles for love. Let us do this now together, knowing that each one of us is, in abundance, richly endowed simply by virtue of our inability to be separate from this one life. We need only to know it, and know it powerfully, and accept it with our whole selves all the time. And so in this time of virtual community, let us join our hearts and minds together and bless our individual offerings right where we are. Whatever that form that is taking, whether it is paper or whether it is the intention in your heart for your virtual offering today, go ahead and hold that in your hand, knowing that all are simply symbols, material symbols, intentional symbols of abundance. Know with me as you hold that, know with your community, that through the sharing of your abundance of love, of wisdom, of life, of plenty itself, by showing up and being a clearer vehicle for God right now, that you are, and thus we are, a blessing in this world. And so it is.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
Thank you, Matthew Wilson. That's fun to do with you. What an artist. Big thanks to our amazing crew, Cameron and Nadine and Michelle and Nathan and Amelia. Big thanks to Reverend Nina Clark. Oh, My life is good. My life is good. We do ask that you register for all events at present. All events are held virtually, and your registration is part of the process by which you will receive your credentials. So visit the website and click on the calendar page and on the event itself, or click on the clickable link provided in your social media chat box window. Social hour immediately following this service. Highlight the link, copy it. When this service is over, the chat will go away, you understand. So if you desire to visit the social hour, copy the link, and when this service is over, paste it into your browser window and join us. Your host today is UIL's volunteer coordinator, Michelle Van Eyck. We would invite you to write small groups at unityandlynnwood.org for details about our small group ministry offerings, some of which are on a temporary hiatus, others of which are meeting. UIL Connects is a social group meeting on second and fourth Thursdays. Students of Myrtle is a study group exploring the teachings of Myrtle Fillmore. And that's been moved to last Tuesdays, by the way, 7 o'clock p.m. And of course, the Search for God study group is a group that explores the teachings of Edgar Casey. Interlude. We have a regular standing Wednesday service in 2021, facilitated by our associate minister, Reverend Nina Clark. I don't know about you. I just can never quite get enough Reverend Nina Clark. Her service lasts about 30 minutes. It's been written that a brief inspirational message followed by a nourishing meditation will help you recenter and remember the truth of you. She is supported by Nadine Pierre on platform. All are welcome to attend Unity and Lynnwood's annual financials meeting. This is scheduled for the last Sunday of January, the 31st, 12:30 p.m. This will be a virtual meeting, so again, your registration is what will garner you your credentials. Do remember to check your junk mail when you register for any UIL event. Reverend Howard Caesar and Dr. Joan Borisenko. That's a cool lineup. The last Sunday of February and the first Sunday of March. Special guests. The first of our 2021 Sunday guests celebrating our 40th year as a spiritual community. Reverend Howard Caesar and Dr. Joan Borisenko. Please invite others. Please consider joining us. We close with a time of prayer. Now, prayer is a word. You already knew that. I like to work with a number of synonyms for prayer. I happen to be of the belief that we are always praying. And in my willingness to entertain that, then the act which we call prayer becomes a moment of intentionality. So I could say, let's close with a moment of intentionality. It becomes a moment of elevation. So I could say, let's close with a moment of elevation. I think prayer can be a time of remembering. So I could say, let's close with a time of remembering. You choose the word that works for you. And let's close the outer eyes of us. And let us open, in a sense, those spiritual eyes, capable of perceiving so much more than the sensory eyes of a transient incarnation are capable of revealing. We open the very spiritual eyes of us, that deep knower that resides at the very heart of us, that is capable of recognizing the essence of us as life, capable of recognizing the essence of us as wisdom, capable of recognizing the essence of us as a sufficiency, ample to any need of an evolving soul. We open the very spiritual eyes of us, capable of perceiving that we are part of a harmonious order, ever seeking balance among its creation. It's not always easy to remember when there are people in our world so deeply attached to disharmony, but that's why they call it spiritual work. And it is this elevated self. It is this remembering self. It is this spiritual seer, which we do not abandon when we reopen our sensory eyes, but we invite to come forth. I have to believe this is what the rabbi meant when he spoke about being a light. We remember and we live from remembering. How about that? And we close our time together as we always do with words of farewell, with words of blessing.
May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your